Today's build is this LED heart that I bought from Banggood, and the LEDs go around the outside, which I think pulse, a couple of switches on it, an IC in the middle. The ICs down here, 3 are the same banding on the colours, which I'm going to assume at the moment that they're the 347K is just there, and then 3 here with different banding. Those of you who can see colours can tell me what they are by looking at the resistors. I can't because I'm colourblind, so we'll be using the component tester again just to see what the values are so we get them right. So let's have a look at the 3 resistors where the banding's the same first. Just pop that in there. Okay, that's 10. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So 10 can go at the bottom. Oh, got that in the wrong. Let's try that again. Now that'll be the 100 ohm, and finally this one. Nope, got it the wrong side again. Let's do that again. That's better, so that will be the 22 ohm. Okay, and then these 3, which I said at the beginning, these 3 of the colours banding is the same. Put that in. Yep, just as I thought, because the 3 are the same, so they're the 47s, which are there. On the board themselves, the 47s go down there, 47K, 10K goes there, 100 there, and the 22 there. We've also got a couple of switches. Power goes here, ICs there, capacitor there, and then the LEDs go all the way around. So as you can see, I've now mounted the circuit board in my vise here, and we're going to start off with the 3 47K resistors which go down here. That's 1. 2. And 3. Doesn't matter which way around they go. I just like to make sure that they're all the colour bandings are the same way around. Again, we'll just bend these legs out slightly just to hold it in place. There we go. Okay, that's got those done. Let's chop the legs off. Okay, there we go. So next one we can do is the 10 that goes just above it. Remember, we tested these. I'm only going to turn it round so the gold band is the same as the others. There we go. Okay, so after the 10 we'll do the 22, which is here. And finally the 100. Okay, it's got them done. Next thing we can do is put the capacitor in. There's only one on this particular project. It's got a shaded band there, which is a negative, and this side is a positive. And if we look on the circuit board, there's a shaded section here, so we just match that up with the shaded part on the capacitor itself. Okay, so the next thing we can do is the transistor, which is here. Now this has, if you can look at that, that has a flat end and a rounded end on it. That matches up with the circuit board, which you've got a rounded part here and a flat part there, and that's the way it needs to go. So we'll just bend these legs out just very slightly, and we can put that in. Okay, so let's have a look at these switches then. Oh, this isn't a switch. Aha, this isn't a switch. This is a variable resistor by the looks of things. I guess that's to change the speed. So we have a rounded edges here and a flat, and we've also got 3 pins. So there's only one way you can put it on the board. So let's see if we can get that in. Quite springy, these legs. There we go. Then they chop these legs off because they're quite short anyway. So that must mean then we have a switch, which is here. If you can see that some of these legs are bent a bit, so let's see if we can just straighten those up. Doesn't seem to be any markings as to which way around it goes. So I think we can just put this straight on. Okay, so this is fairly loose, so I'm just going to see if I can dab a bit of solder on there just to hold it in place. That's it. And then I'm just going to dab a bit to the other side. Okay, so that should just hold it in place while we get the legs soldered up. Okay, just a little bit of solder just sticking up there, so let's get rid of that. Great, so that's that in place. So the only thing that's left now is the IC, which is here. As you can see, the legs are bent because they come in a plastic bag, so I'm going to use my little straightener, put the IC in, and that just straightens up the legs like that. Now, what we've got to make sure is, let's turn that round, here we go. Right, so on the IC there's a little cutout just there. That refers to the little cutout on the circuit board there. So that end has to go that way round. Just being a little bit awkward. There we go. I thought I might have to push that leg in, but it's not, it's gone. So there we go. That's nicely in place there. So again, I'm just going to hold it with my finger at the back. Just oh, I haven't got any solder on there, just a minute. Just dab a bit of solder there just to hold it. Okay, so that's held nicely, so we can now solder the rest of the legs. And the thing is about ICs, this hasn't got a mounting. As you can see, normally on my other projects you'll see that it has a mounting that you can put in first and then put the IC on. This hasn't got it, so what I would suggest on this is that you are a little bit more careful when you're soldering not to give it too much heat. Okay, so just that second one from the bottom hasn't quite gone right, so we'll just reflow some solder on that one. That's better. So that's now got all the pins for the IC done. So apart from the LEDs, that's all the main components done. Okay, so just before we start soldering the LEDs, which are quite big, let's just have a quick look at them. They have a long leg and a short leg. The long leg is a positive and the short leg is a negative, or the ground. So if we look at our circuit board, you'll see there's plus marks on it all the way around. So in our example, the long leg being the plus, so we know it goes that particular way round. So if we're just using the example on the circuit board, the line there is the negative and the one above it is the plus, which is the symbol above it there. So long one is plus, short one negative, top one is plus, bottom one negative, and just follow that pattern all the way around. Okay, so that's the first two done. Just chop the legs off. So those more observant of you would have noticed that on the flip side of the circuit board, the positive is a square connection and the negative is a round connection. You can see all these square ones all around the outside of the circuit board. So if you can't quite see the print because of the way the circuit board has been cut, you can always have a look on the flip side and you can see it there as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video, I'll solder these all in place and I'll come back to you in a minute. So as you can see, I've now finished putting all the LEDs on. The final thing that we need to put on now is the power. And what you're supposed to do with these kits is feed a wire through the big hole and then solder it onto the pads underneath, which are just there. Now I'm not going to do that. What I like to do with the projects that I build is use these little pins. That means I can easily swap and change cables as I want to. So we'll just drop that into there like that, and we'll just hold that with our finger. We'll grab a bit of solder. You have to excuse me a minute. I'll try to reach across there. We'll just dab that onto that pin just there, making sure that we don't burn our fingers like I've just done. Let's try that again. Right, we've dropped that into place. Quickly dab a bit of solder onto there. Ouch. That's not holding it. Just clean the nib. Let's get some fresh solder on there. Okay, hold it with our finger. Quickly dab onto there again. There, that's better. That's got it. No, it hasn't. It's dropped out again. Well, this is not going to plan. Right, this is not going to plan at all. So what I've done is I've already put a wire on here. So just pushed a wire on. That'll give me something else to grip rather than trying to burn my fingers off. Fresh bit of solder. Right, definitely got it that time. Okay, that's better. Definitely got that now. Can easily plug and unplug that. So let's get some power and let's see if that works. Right, so I've got my two wires on, the plus and ground. I've got my power supply, which is just here. So let's connect it up and let's see if it works. So plus goes on and negative goes on. Hey, that seems to be working. Let's just try the switch. Okay, so that's off, that's on. That seems to be working all right. Let's try the variable resistor. Yeah, definitely down to the timer. That's very short. Turn that back up again. There we go. I like the blue as well. That's quite neat. That. So there we go. One circuit board built. One pulsing blue heart.